It's the first interview here at EACD. We're at the pre-conference workshop, and I have the privilege of having the president of EACD, Professor Rainer Blank. Hello. It's good to have you here. You have worked so hard to put this together. I remember meeting you back in Slovenia, and you were already planning and organising for this conference, but I learnt that you've actually been planning for this for about 4 years.
Yeah, 4.5 years we've started actually.
Yes.
4.5 years. At first we were applying for the European conference, European Academy, and then when we have won the European competition, then we had to apply for the International Alliance of Academies.
Yes.
And this was decided in 22. And since 2022 we knew that we have now the combined conference. Yeah, and
what does a combined conference mean? I mean, this is my first combined conference. What's the significance of that?
The significance is that we have annual meetings of the European Academy of Childhood Disabilities, and this is since almost 40 years. But the International Alliance of Academies, this is the World Association of Academies, they have just started in 2016 in Stockholm. The second meeting was in Anaheim, and the third meeting supposed to be in Melbourne, Australia. And we are now the fourth world meeting together with a local host, which is the EACD. And so we have many academies around the world, and it's now a joint meeting of the World Association and the European Association.
So out of all of the things that you have planned, which is in great detail, if you had to pick one thing that most excites you about this combined conference, what would that be?
For me, I think it's so fascinating to see that people from over 82 countries are here. So it's a large global network which is made visible through this conference. And we have so many from very different cultures, countries, and we have also so many people with lived experience here, with parents and users, and very international meetings. So I would say actually this is one of the real first world congresses we have on this topic, actually, because it's so diverse. And also it's the largest one with 2,000 participants.
That's incredible.
All in all. And with 22 pre-conferences, that is a record we have never before, actually.
It is an itinerary. When I look at it, it is incredibly diverse, like you said. And what I think has really stood out about this conference in particular, and it resonates with what I can hear is your passion, is people with lived experience. You have integrated this into the conference so very much. And one of the things that I know that you have really highlighted is the international voices. Can you tell us a bit more about international voices? How you got involved with that?
Actually, 2.5 years ago, I decided that it would be most valuable for the preparation of this Congress to see how people living on site and to visit them also on site in their countries and to interview them. And then I started actually with New Zealand and Australia, and that worked quite fine. And then I continued to go to the other continents. So finally I visited 16 countries around, all around the world in 5 continents. I've been to Africa, 3 countries, in the Arabic world, in the sub-Saharan countries, and in South Africa, North America, Latin America, Mexico, and so on, and Asia, East Asia. So it was it was challenging, but I was welcomed all over the world, very friendly. People were really ready to share their experiences. And altogether, I was able to take 170 interviews, more than 170 interviews, and 70 interviews with people with lived experience and with people with disabilities. So yeah,
That's such an
was very impressive.
incredible, and to get that sample from all over the world, were there common themes that came up with everyone, or was
Yeah.
it very diverse as well? What was your thoughts?
It was diverse, but it was, I think there is a common language all over the world, and
Right.
there are common feelings about disabilities. In some countries they are stronger, in others less. For example, the grieving process all over the world, there is some grieving process if
sure.
you are realizing that you have a child with disabilities. And there is a problem all over the world to get a job, for
Yeah.
example,
Employment,
as people.
yeah.
And there are barriers with the streets, with the roads, with accessibility and so on. This is all over the world. It's very similar. And the dreams are also similar to get the most independence you want for your life, and you are being accepted as a full human being. That was it. But there are also some cultural differences. For example, in Africa, in many countries of Africa, and in East Asia, there people I had the feeling have often to fight the guilt also they feel, if especially women, if they have born a child with disabilities, they often think, yes, it's a bad spirit, it's a fault of you have done in your pregnancy,
Yeah.
it's there is a problem, you have
blame.
done something wrong,
Yeah.
wrong. And it's hard for these women to get free of that after that. And yes, and I think this is possibly more in such countries, in such regions, as it nowadays is in Europe. But still, you will find these feelings also in Europe and in North America and so on.
Well, I think that's such an important point, because as the world becomes very multicultural, there's so much more movement, is that we have to recognize, it doesn't matter which country that you might be living in, you may have people from these cultural backgrounds and beliefs, and so we need to be sensitive to that when we're providing treatments or
Yes.
doing research. From all the things that you had experienced and seen, what would be your message to clinicians and researchers that can really shape, I suppose, how we move forward?
Yes, I think a most important thing to listen to parents having children with disabilities as partners.
Beautiful.
To hear about from them about their children, about the diseases of the children, about their developments, but because there's a lot we do not know until today about the cause of disabilities. And I think especially parents of children with rare diseases, there's often something new to discover. And these human beings, actually the parents, they are the only one who have this child the whole day, and they know exactly what is wrong with the child. And
Yeah.
so often doctors say, I know what is right and what's the best. But indeed, these people often know what's right. And you have to listen very careful in a quite humble way, and also to take serious all the messages they give to you.
Yeah.
And that is one of the first messages. The second message is, I think there should be a networking within the professionals also to cover all the needs of persons with disabilities, because most of these people, they need a multi-professional help, and they need to have a holistic view of their diseases, of their problem.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you always think as a doctor, yes, you are caring about the mental issue, that is the most important, or you care about the feet, and that is the most important. But you have to make some priorities.
Yes.
And it's changing over time. It's changing with the development. You have to make this priority. And that's why it's so important that different professionals really make a plan, a multidisciplinary plan, and then decide which should be the next 1 or 2 priorities for the next 2 or 3 or 4 or 6 years.
Yeah. That's a wonderful message, and I think sometimes it can be overwhelming when you meet a child and a family and what are the priorities. But I think the first step of having those partnerships and treating parents and children as partners is such an important message, and one cannot be, you can't, underestimate the value of that. Rainer, I think that this whole conference is going to be really truly incredible given the representation across so many places in the world. I suppose if you had one message for Congress attendees, what would you like them to really make sure they get out of this whole experience that you've created for us?
I think create and develop new networks, as our motto is,
Beautiful.
and maintain and intensify your existing networks.
Beautiful.
For the sake of the children and of the people with lived experience, and for the sake also of the parents. And find out the best for these people.
Yeah, so developing networks for development is absolutely the core of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for inviting us here to be part of the conference. It's truly such a privilege. I've enjoyed working with you in the lead up to all of this as well. And we just know that a big goal for all of us right now is to develop those networks. So thank you very much to all of our listeners. I hope you really enjoyed that. That hopefully sets the tone for what's to come in this conference. I know I'm incredibly excited about it and to hear about the new information that's coming out, and just grateful for people as passionate as Professor Blanc right here, who has been thinking about this for so many years. So take a look at the channel, look at the interviews. There's so much more to come. Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.